show.
Welcome.
Today we have Officer Charlie. Yay!
This guy's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
He's a local police officer, and he's here to answer all kinds of questions for us about the legalities of dogs and what to do if you see a dog being mistreated or if you see a dog in a car, in a hot car. But before all that, we want to hear a little bit, or a cold car,
because it does get cold here.
It's true, exactly. So, but before all that, we want to hear a little bit about Officer Charlie's dog, and actually he has another pet too. We'll let you tell about it. So, yes.
Okay, so I have a 3-year. Well, she'll be 3 in October. She's a border collie lab mix. Her name is Ginger.
Shout out to Ginger!
Hi,
Ginger! We got her 2 days before Christmas. We were at the pet store getting rats for my pet snake.
What's your pet snake's name?
He doesn't have any official names.
Come on! Send in names for Officer Charlie's pet snake, please. This is not okay.
But what would you even name a snake?
I mean, right now he kind of goes by Mr. Wiggles.
Mr. Wiggles. Well, hello, Mr. Wiggles.
Shout out to Mr. Wiggles.
So we were there getting rats, and there was a lady from a rescue with Ginger, and she was a tiny little 10-pound, 8-week-old puppy, and we stopped and petted her and said, oh, that's a cute puppy, and continued on our way. And as we were leaving, the lady from the rescue was leaving with us. And we're like, what happened? Because she was there to adopt her out.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, I met this lady. It was the second time I met her in 2 days. She told me today that it's too big of a decision. I need more time to think about it.
Okay.
And the lady's boyfriend was kind of like, well, it's going to grow up and be a dog, and it's not going to be cute forever.
That's what happens to puppies, folks.
That is.
Yeah, they're still cute, but they get bigger.
Yeah.
And so my wife kind of looks at me, and she's like, well, the puppy needs a home for Christmas.
Oh my God. Heartstrings.
Yeah. So we asked the lady from the shelter, I'm like, well, can we adopt her? And she kind of looked at us like, really? I'm like, yeah, we'll adopt her today. And she's like, yeah, I have the application in my car. So she went to the application, or she went to get her car to get the application. I went to the ATM, and we went home with a puppy.
Yeah! That is a cool story.
And that is rescue at its finest.
Yeah. I mean, don't you think that dogs kind of come to us kind of like, we get the dogs that we're meant to have. You know, it's kind of like a kismet kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's weird too because Ginger's been amazing too, right? I mean,
she has. Yeah. She's been great for us. We've been forced to be more active with her now.
Yeah.
Which is great. We run 5Ks with her all the time.
Oh my goodness,
we're
God
out.
bless you.
We're out every day.
Yeah. She's also on the fast track to therapy dog.
That she is. Yes.
Yes. And also, shout out to Officer Charlie for being like an amazing dog trainer.
Yeah.
You're a great
Thank
dog
you.
trainer. Officer Charlie has been in many of my classes at the Canine Coach. Shout out to the Canine Coach.
That is true.
And that's how we met. So,
Yeah.
okay. So moving forward, we have some questions. People want answers.
Yes.
You know, it seems like there's all these swirling, like, what do we do? You can break the window. I know you can. Oh no, it's not allowed to break the window if a dog is in a car overheating or freezing.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation about it, you know. And, and the biggest thing that I get is I'll get messages and I'm like, they're like, well, what should I do? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Call the cops?
Call the police.
Call this guy?
Yeah, police, something. I don't know. So we're here to get some real answers. So here we go.
Yeah. So the first question,
Number one.
Numero uno.
what is a leash law?
Yeah.
A leash law. Well, I mean, it can differ from city to city.
Okay.
Our city says that they have to be on a leash. Some cities will differ from that and say that if they're under voice control, they don't have to be on a leash. But the particular city I work for, they have to be on a leash at all times out in public.
And that's St. Paul.
No.
No,
It's a suburb outside of St. Paul.
Okay.
So
Can we say?
No.
Okay.
So with voice control, what is that? Because I don't even know. Because I usually leash my dogs. I don't even mess with letting them off.
Well, if they listen, if you can call them back from whatever the
okay.
distraction is,
Okay.
and get them to, stay by you if
Okay.
need be. As long as they're under voice control where they will listen to you wherever they may be, if you can get them back, That's
Okay.
generally what they work with as far as voice control goes.
Okay, because when I thought he said voice control, I imagine little walkie-talkies. So thank you for clarifying that.
Usually within
Breaker.
within eye
Breaker.
shot, but I mean as long as they'll listen to you off a leash, and if you need them to come back to you and stop or sit or do whatever,
Right.
they will do that and leave other dogs alone.
Right. So what I see a lot is some people like in their home, in their front yards, and their dogs are off leash, but they might be aggressive, and another person might be walking by, and the dog approaches, and it's like, bark. That's my
My yard, my territory.
Yeah, is that okay for people to do, or does it depend on the city again?
As long as they're in their yard, you don't have to have a fence in your house or your yard.
Right.
They don't have to be on like an electronic collar and an underground fence. As long as they're staying in their yard, they're okay. If there's a dog that's barking at you, growling at you as you walk past, my advice would be not to approach
that
that
dog.
dog in their yard.
Yeah.
If the owner's out, you can say, "Oh, can I stop and pet your dog?"
Yeah.
And they would know their dog and know if that's going to be a good idea
Right.
or if it's not going to be a good idea. But
Right.
if you see a dog out,
Yeah.
I wouldn't pet it if I were you unless you know that dog
Right.
and it knows you.
Here's the thing. There's not many things I know for sure. One thing I'm fairly certain on is if a dog is growling and barking at you, don't pet it. I
No.
mean, right?
Yeah.
No, don't.
So, I mean, that's 16 years of dog training.
Yeah, and I just no, I'm just kidding. I just learned that, but definitely, I mean, use your head. And I don't know. A lot of people, I think, get gut feelings.
Yeah.
When you approach a dog and you're like,
As
this
long
dog
as
is a
we're-
little
right.
off. Don't pet it.
And
Right,
as long,
yeah.
right. And as long as we're talking about this, I'll add my little 2 cents as a trainer. So if you're out and a dog is barking and growling at you in an aggressive manner, if that dog is not on leash, the dog is not staying with its owner, it's not in its yard, it's free, you don't know what's going on, and the dog bum rushes you, and you don't have a dog, the best thing to do is do the whole be a tree thing. Just turn, close your eyes, wrap your arms around yourself, look down, don't make eye contact, don't do anything, don't run. Chances are the dog will just sniff at you and kind of move on. I actually had to do this one time when I stopped to help a dog that was like in the street, and it worked. And
Really?
yeah,
That's
be a
amazing.
tree. Be a tree.
I was going to defer to you with that because I figured you might have better insight than anyone
Thank
else.
you.
I know
Yeah.
we've trained with other departments' canines, and we'll get that same advice. If the dog is out and going for a bad guy, stop, don't run, because
And that's what they yell to the people running from the dogs. Yeah. Yeah.
Because-
It's like, you need to stop.
there have been times where the police dog has bitten another officer while en route to
Yeah,
a bad guy
right.
because the officer is
Yep.
moving and it's closer.
Yep, and
So-
it's called rebound aggression, and that's really common.
So-
So here's the thing:
yeah.
if you do have a dog with you, the best thing to do is to split. So that's like if your dog is small. If I gotta have a dog running at me or my dog that's unleashed and I'm afraid of it, I'm picking my dog up, right? The best thing you can do is to get between your dog and that other dog, kind of maybe kick your back foot out, or if you have what's it called, bark stop or it's
Bark
what's it
off,
called? Bark
or
off.
is
What's
it-
it called, Lori?
Halt.
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 Thanks, Lori. Shout out to Lori, our camera person, our producer of this whole
Yes,
show,
yeah.
creator of the whole show. So like it's a spray, and you can spray that at the oncoming dog to stop them from attacking. So
And it doesn't hurt them. I mean, it alerts them. Like
I think it's it's a deterrent. So I don't
Yeah.
know exactly what it does. Does it sting their eyes? You know, Lori?
It interrupts them. It
Uh-huh.
burns a little bit,
Yeah.
but it
Okay.
doesn't harm it. It
Yeah.
interrupts the thought.
Sure.
Yeah, because a lot of dogs, when they're in something, like to snap or something, right?
Yeah,
To
you
just,
need to
like,
you for sure
redirect.
need to snap them out of it,
Yeah.
change gears, if you will. And a lot of times when dogs are in that full prey chase mode, that they're just not even thinking. They're just in full like I'm running after this thing. And you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. There you need to do something to stop them. So is that legal then? If you were to spray a dog
Yeah.
and somebody that was coming kind of after you like on a public street, that's legal. to
you
do
would have
that.
to be prepared to. I'm sure if that owner sees it, they're going
Yeah.
to call the police because you just sprayed something at their dog that
Right.
they don't know what it is.
Right.
So if you do that, just be prepared. The police might be called. Be prepared to tell us what happened. Tell us what you have, what it does. Be able to describe what it does, so we know. Because
Yeah.
I didn't even know what halt was. I would look at that and scratch my head. So probably call Danielle. What's this
And
dog stuff?
I'll be like, hang on for a second. Hey, Lori! You know what I'll do?
Right.
So I guess just be prepared to explain yourself. Be prepared. The owner may want to confront you about this if you sprayed their
Yeah.
dog with something. So just be prepared for that. Obviously, you need to be able to defend yourself against an animal that's coming after you.
Right.
But just be prepared that the owner may be angry, and we may end up being called. So.
Sure.
Right. So that kind of leads into the next question that we have for you. This is coming from one of our viewers. Hi,
Cheryl! Thank you for viewing. We're excited about that.
And she says, I've definitely heard people ask questions about dangerous dogs law, bite responsibility depending on property, how to challenge dangerous dog designations, leash requirements, etc. So we touched on some of those.
Okay.
But one of them that I'm curious about is if a bite does happen. Because have you been called on a case where like a dog bite has actually happened, like the dog has made impact?
Yeah, we get called to dog bites, dogs versus dogs, dog versus people, dogs versus other animals. Mostly it's dogs versus people or dogs versus dogs is what we get called to. There are certain circumstances if somebody's on your property, if they're trespassing at that. Hi, Sharpie.
Sharpie's like, I'm a dog.
Sorry. It just like came to me. Okay.
There are exemptions where the dog wouldn't necessarily be defined or classified as a potentially dangerous dog or a dangerous dog if you are the one that's perpetrating the bite. But if it's an unprovoked bite against you or against another animal, in the city I work in, they would be labeled as a potentially dangerous dog after their first bite. If they do it again, that would escalate to being labeled as a dangerous dog.
Okay.
If they happen to bite somebody and kill a companion animal, cat, dog, or severely injure or kill a person, at that point they would be labeled right away as a dangerous dog as well. They wouldn't get that first strike with the potentially dangerous dog.
Okay.
Now, if someone does have a dangerous dog, how can someone know how to identify that dog? Or like, is there certain requirements? Because I think they have to have like a privacy fence and the beware of dog signs.
You have to have signs.
Okay.
As far as fences go, I don't know for sure. I can't answer that 100%.
Next time we have him back, we'll have the
I will
answer
do
to
some
that.
research and I will
Answer
find
to
out
that.
some answers if I can answer them all the way today.
Awesome.
But I know you have to have signs at your house, beware of dog, stuff like that. Obviously, in our computer system at work, we will know as well that dog is labeled as a dangerous dog. So we'll have in-house records from that dog,
Okay.
and we keep tabs on it. Then every year we make sure that the dog is licensed with the city, their vaccinations are up to date, and so on and so forth there.
Good. One of the other questions that I have from viewer Amanda. So can you log on to a website or someplace where you can find your city ordinances with the leash laws and dog bites?
Every
and things
city
like that?
on their normal city website will have. Our city has it's called the code book section, and it's the city code book with all the ordinances, and they're divided up by chapters, and each chapter is kind of given a heading like noise or animals, waterfowl, whatever. And so you can click on there and then it'll go into more depth as far as all the different ordinances underneath that chapter, what they entail, what you need to do to be following the ordinances, and what constitutes a violation.
Okay.
So every city website in Minnesota should have their own city government website, and on there they should have some sort of a code book section, ordinance section that you can look at to get any answers you might have concerning your own city.
Okay. Are you able to Google it too? Because I'm a big Googler.
Yep. Yeah.
If you type in
Ask Google.
Minnesota and let's say I live in Foley, Minnesota, Foley.
Yep, you can just
dog
do City of Foley, Minnesota.
Okay.
And on Google, that'll bring you right to that city's website.
Okay, good.
And then from there, you should be able to find the code book or the ordinance section.
Awesome.
And that will direct you to where you need to go.
Thank you. I have a question about poop.
We love food.
There it is. Just the only reason why I wanted to ask that question is so I could do that. So
Daniel
no, not
loves to
really
say
though. So if you
We do have an ordinance requiring that you pick up after pets.
could somebody be given a ticket like that they have to pay that a fine if they are caught not picking up their dog's
Yes.
poop. Really?
Yep.
How much is
It
it in the
is-
approximation?
Ordinance violations are a misdemeanor offense for us, which is slightly more than like a normal traffic. Like a speeding ticket is only a petty misdemeanor. A misdemeanor is actually one step up from that, and you could actually have to appear in court for it.
Pick up your poop! Oh my god!
I wonder what it looks like when the judge is like, man, I had 10 poop cases today.
Okay, so here's I have to tell you guys this story. I
That would be a crappy day in court.
be like, it
Officer
happened.
Charlie, everybody.
Bleep that. Officer Charlie's got a million of them. So here's the true story. My friend lives like in a large condo complex.
Okay.
They were having a problem that allows dogs. They were having a problem with people picking up their dog's poop.
Yeah.
So every dog had to bring a fecal sample in.
No.
They have it on
Whose
file.
dog is
Yes,
pooping?
if there's poop out there, out in like the
Oh
general
my God.
population, they analyze it and they're like, that was your dog's poop. And by the way, here's your fine.
Wow.
Guess what? There was no poop there for, after that. Because people like, know, right?
Well,
It's like CSI for poop.
I had this one lady I lived in an HOA community, and she would come over to my yard, because what they did with the HOA community is you had 7 days, and HOA laws, I don't know if they're all the same or whatnot, but you had 7 days to pick up your dog poop. So I'm thinking, how do they know if it's been seven day poop?
Yeah.
But I was on a rotation. I would pick up poop before the lawn got mowed is what my rotation was. And this lady, there was one day, it was the day before lawn mow, and I did not pick up my dog poop first thing in the morning, and she came and she stuffed all my dog poop. Like, she picked up all my dog poop.
That was nice
and,
of her.
Yeah.
and stuck it on my doorstep and put... I know this is such a deal.
She's a poop detective. She's a poop savant. Well,
crazy. So
everybody has a talent. There should not be.
This is 7-day-old
strife of
poop.
that.
I'm like, how did you know?
Yeah.
That's, do you thank her or do you get
Yeah.
mad? I don't know.
I kind of, honestly, I called the cops. I was like, hey, she's trespassing, putting poop on my doorstep.
Yeah.
Even though it's my own dog's poop.
But she did, after that, she did stop putting poop on my doorstep. So that was really
Well,
nice.
that was a plus.
I was like, I can pick up my own dog poop. Thank you very much.
At least she didn't put it in a paper bag and light it on fire.
That is true. I did it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, wherever you are. Thank you.
Oh wait.
We get those calls around Halloween time all the
Do
time.
you really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I always thought that was in movies.
No, that is a prank
Billy
that-
Madison got that movie. I think Billy Madison.
That is
had
a
it.
prank that actually happens, and
Oh.
people
Kinda
fall for it.
funny.
They go to stamp out the fire on the paper bag. It happens.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Yeah.
I should give him my 7-day-old poop. Huh?
Yeah. There you go. Way too crunchy.
Oh my
All right,
god. Okay. Change.
All right.
No more poop.
No more poop. Pick up after your dogs. Okay, so we want to talk about the car stuff.
Yes.
That's
So
a hot topic.
Hot
Oh,
topic.
gosh, why do we have to say hot topic?
No pun intended, or
Yeah, no pun intended. So
It's a
what
cold
do you
topic.
do if you you go to Target? Shout out to Target.
Hey, I like Target.
better than Walmart.
Yeah, my mom calls it Target. So,
Let's say this has happened to me. So you go to Target and it's a really hot Minnesota day. It's over 80 degrees. There's a dog in a car. There's only the window cracked like this. You're worried about that dog. Before you answer that, let me
Yep.
tell everybody, dogs sweat through the pads of their feet and their tongues. So if they can't get their whole head out to pant, and they obviously can't get their feet out, then there's an issue past 80 degrees. So, and I would say even, 70, be careful. So anyway, so now you know this, and you see this dog is in danger. What do?
Call the police.
Okay.
That's first and foremost. Call the police. Call
call
me.
the police.
Do you
and now
call-
I really hope Lori puts a little cop car down here. Choo choo. Oh, no, wait, that's a train.
Siren.
That's a train.
Amanda! That is special. Call the police. police! Choo choo! Okay, all right.
The train police.
The police in Amanda's town come on a train.
I do live out in the country. It's the only way to get to us.
But I mean, yeah. So here's the thing: do you call 911 or do you call the non-emergency number? Like, what's the best thing to do?
In my county, they have gone away from wanting people to use non-emergency. They want
Okay.
everybody to call 911.
Okay.
It's easier for them because when you call 911, all your information logs
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
their system. Non-emergency doesn't necessarily log
Okay.
everything. That way, if they need to call you back for more information, they have the number they can call you back
Yeah.
on versus non-emergency, they wouldn't necessarily have it.
Okay.
So that way they can call you if they have more questions, if the officers need updating as we're responding to the call.
Mm-hmm.
Our dispatchers can get a hold of that person who called the police. Yes, call 911. If it's not an emergency, that's okay because the first thing they ask you when they answer the phone is 911, what's your emergency?
Okay.
If you don't have one and they're busy, they'll put you on hold. If they're not busy and you don't have an emergency, they'll just start talking to you and get the call.
Okay, cool. That's really good to know.
Now, there was a social media post circulating. There's this one girl, I cannot remember where it was, but she saw the dog actually passed out in the car and then did proceed to break the window.
Yep.
Now, I don't know about me. I know I would be okay with getting charged personally for breaking someone's property if a dog was passed out.
Is that what happens?
But I don't know. I have no idea what the final verdict was of this, but
I haven't heard of that at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, you would be subject to civil liability if you break somebody's window. I mean, you're doing it for the right reasons. You can justify that. But they could still sue you for damages to the car to replace their window,
Yeah.
et cetera. They could go after you in civil court for that. So that's why we stress call us if possible because then it's not just a citizen that's doing it, it's the police. They've been called there for a reason. We arrived, we've been trained for this, we recognize certain things, and then we can make that call. Plus, we have lockout tools, so we don't necessarily have to break a window.
That's right.
We can get in with the Slim Jim or
Yep.
all our other fancy tools. We can actually get into your car without breaking a window and hopefully get the dog out. If at that point we can't, and we can see that the dog is in severe danger, we'll break into the car at that point. But up until then, we have other ways to get in versus breaking your window.
Okay. Is the person, let's say this dog was in severe danger and, we called the police come, they get the dog out, the dog is being revived, but you could see that it was in distress.
Yeah.
Then the person comes out, is that person ticketed, fined? Yep. Oh, really?
Yep.
I did not know that
There is
either.
state statute governing leaving animals in vehicles. Even without water, you could actually, even if they're not left in a vehicle, if they're left in a vehicle without water, that's enough to be cited under a different statute.
Really?
But yeah,
Wow.
leaving them unattended in a hot vehicle is a criminal offense in the state of Minnesota. There's a statute that governs
That's
it.
so cool. I'm glad.
And you can be issued a citation for that. I have done that in the past with people.
Really?
Yes.
Good.
Are they generally responsive? Are they mad at you or do they get it?
The latest incident I had, he was mad. He was upset because he's done this many times. And this was actually in the wintertime. It wasn't in the summertime. It was I think 20 below, just straight temperature wise 20 below. And somebody called about a dog being in a big SUV. And I arrived, the dog was going crazy. He had already pooped in the car, back to the poop topic. So he pooped in the car, he was barking, he was
Pacing, he was in distress.
Pacing. Yep. So I used our lockout tool to open the car and get him out. And then just when I had got him out and in my squad with the heat running, the owner came out and he was upset. He wanted to know what I was doing, breaking into his car. But he
Don't do it, people.
So
No.
did it just break your heart to
don't
leave
do
that?
it.
Did it just break your heart to leave that dog with that
I-
owner?
At that point, I asked because I wasn't sure if we should
Take the dog.
place the dog in a shelter for the time being. And I was told from my supervisor, give the dog back. So he got his dog back, but he did leave with a citation as well. So.
Okay.
Good.
And I never had to go to court for it, so I'm assuming he paid his
it.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that really.
So it's
that
not
really
just the
stinks.
heat, it's the cold as well. The cold
Yeah.
it was 20 below out, just temperature,
Yeah.
not even wind chill. And the owner was it was in a movie theater parking lot. He had been in watching a movie. So the dog had been in the truck for 3 hours.
Dirty.
He said.
No.
All right, you know what? Here's the other thing about this show, right? We do want to stick with positivity. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell people that may have done that before, or to this gentleman, maybe you'll see it. we have compassion for you too. Everybody has things to learn. Maybe you truly didn't know and you do love your dog. But we really do want to help educate people,
Right.
and so they can understand that, you know, these things just aren't cool, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, sending out love to you, and
Well, and I think the thing is too is people think, especially during winter, my dog has fur.
Right.
They're
Right.
already set up. They're good. They can
Right.
withstand it. But really, I mean, dogs need temperature regulation, just like a human.
Right. Because
Right,
I've
I mean-
also seen like elderly people like leave their little small dogs in the car with just a crack in the window, and when it's warm out, and I've even just stopped somebody before and said, you know
Yeah.
what, you need to roll that down more, or because some people just don't know. So,
Right.
you know,
It's all an education
It
factor.
is.
Yeah,
I mean,
more than that, more than anything else.
we
it's
don't
just
want to
being
point the
educated.
finger and say you're a bad person, because you know that's not what we're saying. We're just we can do better, right? We can do better.
Yep.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the next topic of discussion is city limits. So, I know I have a lot of dogs, and I told him how many dogs I have, but he doesn't know my address, so I think I'm okay.
I'm making a phone call once I
A lot of different cities have actually dog limit regulations.
leave. Yes.
So I'm gonna stop you here,
Oh.
because guess
Uh-oh.
what? We've been talking to you for a long time,
Yeah.
and we're gonna wrap it up. Next time we
Let's
have
do this.
Officer
Yes,
Charlie
yes,
on.
yes.
He's gonna answer questions about the city limit stuff, and your
Well,
other
he's like,
questions
okay.
that you didn't know he was coming back on
didn't
until
know either.
just now. Surprise! Yeah, we got it like that. Next time we have him on, we're gonna talk about the city limit stuff and some other questions that you guys can send in to us. So tell the
Yes.
people where to send in their questions.
You can send your questions into this link provided below. Yes,
Minnesota
yes.
Dog Lover TV.
Or put them in the YouTube comments.
Or put them into the YouTube comments, because
yeah.
our
Oh.
amazing Lori does track all of that for us.
And we care.
Hi, Lori.
And we care about you. We care about you. We care about your animals, and we want to, you know, help out. So
Yeah.
And subscribe.
and subscribe.
Oh
yes.
my goodness.
And check out our
Yes.
Facebook page.
Yes.
And check out our
And there's a
Facebook
Facebook
page.
page.
Yeah.
What?
I know. The madness. The
So what's
madness.
the Facebook page called?
Minnesota Dog
Minnesota
Lover
Dog Lover
TV.
We're not going to do it the
Facebook.
Pay Forward show. Okay, got
Yes.
it. Minnesota
Yes.
Dog Lover TV.
And there's a link. Lori will
There's
put
a
it
link.
in here because I'm
Yep.
pointing to the table.
Or
But
she can put it up here.
Or up
or
here.
here's the link.
Or here. Or here.
We'll say here's the link.
Subscribe button.
Yes.
And yeah, click on the
yeah.
subscribe button right from the YouTube channel. So thank you all so
Yeah,
much for being
thank
with
you,
us.
guys.
Thanks to Officer Charlie.
Yes, yes.
I'll be
Thank you,
here.
Officer Charlie.
Awesome.
Amazing.
So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, point and say pay it forward. All right, you ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3,
Pay it
forward.